Hi, welcome back to another video. Happy Easter to anyone who catches this over the weekend. It's Good Friday today in the land of Germany. So today I want to talk about changes and chronic back pain. I want to pick on three areas that I believe to be important when recovering and trying to recover from chronic back pain. The three areas are self-care, reframing thoughts, and spontaneous changes. I picked these three because, I believe that they're important. I believe there's some ways in which we can shift our experience if we can just have an eye on these three areas. So I'll go into self-care first. The first point I want to go to is choosing to look after yourself instead of others. It's quite common if you are suffering from chronic back pain that you tend to care for the needs of others before yourself. A simple act like learning to say no. Maybe you feel a bit shit, but your friend calls and really needs your help with some random thing, and instead of actually honoring yourself and saying, do you know what, I'm having a shit day today, I'm gonna have to say no, I'm gonna have to pass, and you take a breath and put the phone down. It doesn't happen so often. Often we're quite quick to want to help others, but it can be detrimental to ourselves. It can be detrimental to our recovery, and it's a good habit to get into, to say no and to take care of yourself first. It's not selfish. We have to learn not to feel guilty for doing it, because we do, I do. I guess additional to self-care is learning to relax, finding ways to relax. It can be easy for us to get caught up, get stressed, be highly pressured, judging ourselves, and I don't know, just not really giving ourselves the support we need, the balance we need in our lives, and self-care is balance. For too long we've been tipping the balance towards other people's needs, and we've been out the picture. So do your best to find some alone time, find some space, have a bath, do some breathing exercises, go for a walk. There's multiple ways to do it, and you just have to find one for you. So give that a try, and have a thought on self-care. Number two, I'm going to talk about reframing your thoughts. Now, this often sounds easier than it is. For obvious reasons, it can be challenging for us to make changes in our life, and it can be a bit daunting as well, because it's sort of going into the unknown. One aspect you can keep in mind is the tendency to catastrophize, and by catastrophize I mean it's kind of like a spiral, negative thoughts. Also very common as a trait if you suffer from chronic pain. It's very easy to get downhearted with the process. If you've suffered from back pain for some years, it can often be frustrating. and it can often be easy to be too hard on yourself as well. You know, you're only human. We can't be perfect, even though something in our head strives for perfection unnecessarily and unfairly, and we often judge ourselves. And if we can learn to catch the moments when we are judging ourselves, and then we can soften a little bit, we can take a few breaths, we can write some stuff down. The journaling point that I think I'll probably end up mentioning in every video, and also repetition. So the more you learn to adapt and change your habits, the more the new habit and the new way of thinking will begin to embed itself into a pattern basically in your brain. So that's the way you learn. You can set reminders for yourself to do this. You can write stuff down. Dr. Sarno, who I've discussed before, has a 12 daily reminders. I don't remember them all off the top of my head, but one, for instance, is there is nothing structurally wrong with my body. Now, caveat, some people do have structural problems with their body that cause pain. I'm speaking to the mind-body pain and the knowledge and understanding that the root cause of that pain is due to emotional, psychological, or neurological processes. So writing little reminders, you know, another one that comes to mind is thinking psychologically at all times. Now that basically means is know what you're thinking, know what you're feeling. If your pain is coming on, what are you thinking about? Is there any stresses? Is there anything that you're worried about in your life that just keeps coming to the fore, that could be fueling a bit of the anxiety, which in turn can fuel your pain? So being mindful of your thoughts and taking a breath from time to time also helps. Finally, I want to talk about spontaneous changes, and the main reason I want to go there is because, you know, we're trying to break our habits, and often we do things over and over again in the same way, and rightfully so in some respects, because it's impossible for us to constantly think about everything we're doing. But there's times in our life, especially if you're trying to recover from chronic back pain or any chronic pain, for instance, we have to just learn to switch things up a little bit. As an example, today I decided to do a workout straight away out of bed. I never do that. I can never be asked to do that. But today I just thought, what the hell? Okay, I'll do it differently this time, and it felt good. It felt great. It got me out of a bad morning habit that I find myself in sometimes, where I can wake up, I can feel a bit shit, or I can have pain, and then I'm juggling between what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and the pain, and I can sometimes have a frustrating time. So I'm also going through this process, and I'm learning ways in which I can help myself and build new habits, and doing things spontaneously from time to time out of the norm will help break the cycle. And trying new things, experimenting, saying yes to experiences and things in life that normally you would cut yourself out from. And it's super important to believe that you can change. So although change is hard, you can do it. I'll summarize quickly: self-care, learn to say no, look after yourself, learn to relax. 2, reframing your thoughts. Notice when you're thinking too negatively or catastrophizing, and write things down to help, because that will really support you. And finally, again, spontaneous changes. Do something different. Get up and do something different from your normal routine. You know, it doesn't have to be a massive change either. We don't have to make huge changes, but we have to trust ourselves to make changes. So trust yourself, believe that you can make the change, and good luck and happy Easter. And we'll see you in the next one.